Well, this is Political Paradigm. Welcome. I'm Terry Ikumi. It's a mixed bag of politics and governance on the show today, with specific focus on Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, which held its state and ward congresses over the weekend, even though some states postponed theirs. Now, we'll look at the outcome of those congresses in the face of criticisms that have trailed the internal crisis of the party. We'll also look at the state of the nation from the opposition's perspective and the constitution change or review, as the case may be. I'm joined virtually by a founding member of the People's Democratic Party, a former deputy national chairman, and member of the board of trustees of the party, Chief Bode George. Chief Bode George, welcome to Political Paradigm.
My pleasure.
Chief, I don't know if I should start off by congratulating you and your party on the successful state and ward congresses which held. Yes, some states didn't hold, but I just want to start off by congratulating you and getting your thoughts, especially at a time like this when it seems to many that the PDP is struggling to survive. What do you make of the ward and state congresses that held over the weekend?
I watched the Congress in Rivers State, and that was a major aspect that really shook me to my bones. Normally, state congresses are held, and it's like getting back to the grassroots to handle those who will be the managers of the party at the state level, all the way down to the ward level. We have a structure, we have a procedure, but I just want to single out one that got me very worried. I was miffed to my bones when I watched the one in Rivers State. I didn't see the current governor at that forum. And when they now invited the Minister of FCT, the former governor, to talk, he really rattled me. Those comments really rattled me. And like you have said, that yes, we need to get back to look at our party and save Nigeria from this drifting to nothingness. I'm not very happy. Any right-thinking leader of the party, we saw it all when those founding fathers committed themselves. They were to having a very standard operational procedure for handling democracy in Nigeria. This is a kind of a departure. I want to tell the former governor that he needs to calm down. What I saw on that was like something that happened when I was in secondary school in the early 60s in Western region. Two wrongs don't make a right. And because the essence of being a member of the same party is to be able to work with other tribes, other regions, and you'll be able to present yourself so that you maintain the camaraderie with the public. Because the electorate are more than us who are card-carrying members of any political party. And then the statements against the governors who are leaders of the party in their various states, it's not acceptable to me at all.
All right, Chief, I want to take you up on standard operating procedures, just like you said when you were talking about the country's democracy. And I want to find out from you what the standard operating procedure is for conducting a Congress of this nature, who should head it, and how should it go?
As for every state where you have the governor being a member of our party, the leadership of the party at that state level is the governor. So national headquarters you must relate with that governor from the state.
Or constitution.
It is that. That's yeah. Because you cannot go and say you want to grab somebody's house, and you now appoint those who will manage the parties from all these little areas. It's not acceptable. The governor of the state is the leader of the party in that state.
Chief, I'm asking you,
On the day of the Congress,
if
the
it's
governors must be there. The people from Abuja to conduct the congresses must be there, and there should have been a precursor. So you give them the truth, because if there is no if there is perpetual enmity, then we are heading to the rocks. There's no way they could have conducted that without factoring the current leader of that party.
Chief, that's why I'm asking you if it is a tradition or part of your constitution, because I want to know from you, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, whether this Congress that held in Rivers State in the absence of the governor, because we know the back and forth, the court processes, when the Rivers State High Court barred the Congress from holding, and then the Federal High Court in Abuja, asked that no one should stop the Congress from holding. So let's look at the legality or otherwise of it. What do you make of the Congress? Is it legally binding or is it not?
This is what this reminds. That's why I said the whole gamut of this activity is sending me a reminder, a deep-rooted reminder of what happened in Western region in the 60s. It started like a little fight between the national leader and the state leader, Papa Olowo and the old man, Papa Akitola. Like a little stop. And that led us, unfortunately, to the civil war. The whole region went ablaze. Because if you don't key in the state governor, who is executive governor, to be part of the discussion for nominating those whom will work with him according to the constitution of the party, and you expect him to just sit down, it is not on. I want to tell all sides now to just hold their fire. We must, as leaders of this party, arrest this drift to absolute nothingness. The public is waiting for a strong opposition to meet our needs in this country. You can see right now, where is the punch for opposition?
The political situation in Rivers State is quite peculiar, and there will be concerns as to what happens if the Rivers State governor goes ahead to conduct a Congress for the other PDP members or whoever he wants to work with. What happens in this case? Which of them would be binding? And it has to be constitutionally guided, especially by your constitution in the PDP.
All right. If he had held on to hold another separate Congress, there would have been conflagration. And I am begging all sides, because Rivers, Kano, Lagos are the largest 3 electoral states in this country. I am asking all sides to sheath their swords. Let's go back to the drawing board. That was why when they set up disciplinary committees, certain committees, I looked at it and I said, no, we should have set up a special committee to look at the pre-activities of the party before the election, the activities of the party during the election, and the post-activities of our party after election. When you now set the committees, they will now give you the reports. The report they will now give you will determine whether you have a disciplinary committee and a reconciliation committee. That's the way you need to do it. They said there was INEC representative, there was the police representation. They also had how can you enter a state where we have a governor and you have no relations or interactions with him? It's a mindset ready for chaos. So
Okay. I want us to look at Rivers State, the structure, which is a problem. The structure, we've heard conversations around the political structure in Rivers State being the problem. And not to hold forth for the FCT minister, but we've heard arguments from his side, and those arguments have been supported. He talked about how he fought to make the party what it is today, especially in Rivers State. Fought the former governor, Rotimi Amechi, funded the party at national level, and he questions how he would relinquish that structure considering his contribution. I don't know if that's an argument that you think is justifiable when we talk about the party structure, which is the bone of contention in Rivers State, as we hear.
My own contention is very simple. You cannot enter Rivers without paying respect to the leader of the party there. It's our constitution. The governor in his state is the leader of the party in that state. And when I saw him, the way he was angry and talking, and I got a little bit frightened. Look, if the governor had gone on to set up another convention or congress somewhere else, there would have been instability in that state, and it would lead to so much chaos and mayhem that may tempt the opposition party in Abuja to now say they want to declare a state of emergency. I am begging everybody everybody has contributed one thing or the other. But to perpetually think that this thing must be me, I own it, and then the other ones, I'm not blaming either side now. All we want is stop all this. Everybody is either on one side or the other. They have divided the party. Look, the governors are also meeting. The National Working Committee are also meeting. How would you send somebody to that state where we have a governor and he won't participate? It is not well.
Chief, there are those who argue that appeals have not worked for the PDP. I've heard you appeal here a number of times in this short time. And the question is, when it comes to politics, which is a give and take situation, not many appeals will not work. And then the comments of Mr. Wike come in just about a couple of weeks after the reconciliation and disciplinary committee was inaugurated. For some, it's quite insightful. So some even call it a national security matter. How do you think that this should be approached? Because when you say that you would put fire in PDP states that choose to go against you, some say this is insightful. What sort of approach do you expect perhaps the party to take or the security agencies to take?
Okay. Now, I tell you what. I was away. When I came back, I read one of these internet whatever, that the governor of Rivers said he was going to APP. I got worried and I called him. I said, is it true? He said, no, sir. He's still in PDP. Okay. Then I called the chairman of the BOT. I said, look, this is the time for the BOT to rise above partisanship and call for a meeting. So he then called the governor of Rivers, Governor Fubara, for a discussion. He selected some members of the board of trustees and we went there. And the next step was we were to visit Wike to hear his own side of the story, and then we can, come to a compromise situation and move forward. Then the issue of Congress came up. And the comments, the statements made there, hey, please, I'm begging them. I was in high school when it started in Western region. We knew how it all ended up. It became a civil war. These are not issues beyond the board of trustee of the party. The responsibility of the board of trustee is to wade in once there are crises between the party exco and different arms there, because the board of trustee is the trustee, holds the liabilities and the assets of the party on we hold them in trust. Please, this is getting too disgraceful, and we must act, very promptly. It is worrisome. It is worrisome. Okay, they put, the people who came, visited him, and it is still one side that they cannot change it, they cannot do that. In the meantime, the leader of the party in that state is still the governor. And then, I want to please tell my young brother, and I might like the son too, calm down. Calm down. We will resolve this, because it started from that national convention floor in Abuja that day. And that this is where you are now finding it. Everybody, they are all divided. It's not entitlement for anybody. You join like anybody else join. If you had contributed to the party, yes. But to be on one side, to be on this side, I got totally angry the way the former chairman of the party handled the convention. And we told him, you can't do this. I even spoke to our candidate at that time that, look, what you guys are doing is not right. What do we take home to show our people that we are committed members before we can sell your candidature for them to vote for you? They are calling me all kinds of names. Oh, I am now working for Tinubu. Absolute senselessness. In fact, I looked at those little rats who are writing all kinds of nonsense like that. Go vote for Tinubu how? Who is the Nigerian who is satisfied now? Even themselves from the villa accepted that, yes, they have problems. Look at the economic situation of this country. Look at even the crude oil issue. Is there a subsidy or no subsidy? You don't know who is telling the truth. In the meantime, the cost of fuel has gone beyond any normalcy. And then people, either from the market or whatever, you must buy petrol, you must move from position A to position B. So what are we doing? There are serious issues. People should tone down on their own personal affairs.
Let me come in here, please. The issue of the state of the nation is something we also try to accommodate. But I'd like us to wrap up with this issue within your party, especially in Rivers State, because some have described you already talked about the National Convention, how dissatisfied you were, and you believe that that's also where this crisis stemmed from. It's almost public knowledge, if I may add that as well. But then, with the kind of comments that have been made recently, for a while now, by the former River State Governor and FCT Minister, you've heard calls that he's the problem within the party and he has to leave the party or else the party will not make any progress. Recently, an elder statesman like yourself, Chief Edwin Clark, said that Wike is the problem, and if he doesn't leave the party, PDP will not make any progress. What do you make of that call?
When Papa spoke with me before he released the paper, and I told him I just came back from my holiday and that I would see what we could do to stem this tide. Now it's getting worse by the hour. If you want to go out to fight and you have a divided group, how can you win? How can you win? There is still need for us to get our acts together, sit down, tell the truth to power, and face ourselves in the interest of this massive country, Nigeria. I am, it is like about 3 different groups now, struggling now to control the party. What happened when IU was there? Why did IU refuse to resign and allow the Southwest to take home the position of national chairman? We are trying now to wreck this party. And it will be unfortunate because this is the only Iroko party in this country for now. And I am begging all sides to please be quiet. Let them set up a thoroughbred, clear, not one-sided committee to wade into this as quickly as possible.
What the reconciliatory committee is supposed to do?
Yes, you say the reconciliatory committee will do it, but what will be the terms? You know, the reconciliatory committee, yes, should do it, but what have they done? What have they done? The board of trustees is still there before it goes. Before you go to any committee.
Chief George, just on this issue of whether or not Mr. Wike should stay or leave, the PDP governors, reaching a resolution saying, you know what, we give the leadership and the structure to Governor Simnale Fubara, but this is a different situation now. And then the elder statesman Edwin Clark says he should leave the party or else this party will not survive. Should he leave the party for it to survive or not? Because as you had rightly pointed out, his latest move is capable of further disrupting the peace or intended peace within the PDP.
No, not only of PDP, of this nation. Because if anything happens, that you have a security crisis in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State, that's the cash cow of this country. If you have it, you mean the president will sit down there, and there may be temptation to say, okay, let me declare state of emergency in that state to bring them the calmness. And then what will happen to innocent people? I'm appealing to people all across to please stop. Let the working committee and the other elders, the board of trustees in particular, rise up to set the proper committee, not one-sided committee, full-blown committee.
Reconciliatory committee is one-sided.
Who are the people there? I said I was in the. They nominated me for the committee of the disciplinary committee. As a member, I looked at it. I said, "Who? How can I? That I've been in this party since 1998, became vice chairman Southwest, deputy chairman South, and deputy chairman National, and I am a life member of board of trustees of the party. To go and serve under the fellow who they made chairman, he can't work. When did he join the party? What does he know about the party? I know where he belongs when it comes to all this division. And that's why I'm appealing to all sides, because we still have about 2 years to get, 2.5 years to get to election mood. We can still resolve it. Papa was angry because he was alleged that Wike said certain things, but I am sure that can also be resolved. And all sides, I love the way the Fubara acted, because if he has reacted, he allowed the team, the governors forum, to react on his behalf. Brilliant. He didn't send his people to go out to counter those who are doing their congresses and all that. No, that would have conflagrated the complete, and it will spread like a cancer across this country. I get, look, I was in the military. I finished there, and I come from a political home. Grandpapa, great grandpa was Abad Macaulay, he was the one that established the first political party in this country. So what is there? Is there any human being that was born and will not die someday and go back?
George, there's just one more thing now on this Rivers situation, if you can hear me. Chief, there's one more thing, just so that we can leave this Rivers situation, because I see you're really disturbed by it. And it has to do with the Martin Amehule-led House of Assembly, who were supposed to be members of the APC. There's a court judgment not recognizing their defection, the back and forth and all that. What do you make of them attending the Congress that held in Rivers State?
Look, you know, when you open the door for trouble and it gets into your house, a divided house will remain a defeated house. You know, there is one song that fella sang in his days. He said, Yanga dey sleep, wahala go wake up. Waiting you go find. You remember that song? You remember that song? People are hungry and they are therefore angry. The economic situation in this country is dire. It's completely dire and we are not solving it. We don't even know the truth about all this oil thing anymore. You hear a story here, you hear a story there. And like I asked some people, I said, okay, all these stories, who is the Minister of Petroleum? The president. Who is the chairman of the petroleum, the NNPC? I'm being told now that they released something over the weekend that they that will affect the cost of oil, because the landing cost is about 1,200 naira per liter. That's the landing cost. So where are we? And we should not confound this with all these personal fights. Something really went wrong before the convention of the party.
All right, Chief.
And we are pretending as if all is well. I'm telling all sides now to sheath their sword, because nobody will get out of it clean.
All right, Chief. I would like to get a quick reaction
Okay.
from your comments about Atiku and 2027. There have been reactions to that. He's a special advisor on media. Paulie has reacted. We've had an APC former spokesperson, Timmy Frank, react to that. And some have said that you shouldn't have said that, that this is not a time for that the country is going into a lot, that the economic climate of the country doesn't permit that, and that it's too early to talk about 2027.
I see. You know the activities that are going on. Can you see the another effect? Those guys they are talking because of their employment with Atiku. I don't hate Atiku. He's my friend. The time he contested, the first time before this 2023 election, contested against Buhari, what did I do here in my state? We worked like hell, campaigned like hell, because all the issues that were to be tabled were attended. Now, the next time, even when President Buhari has finished his 8 years, we have the question of what happens. Our constitution is clear. Those positions in the north must come back to the south, and all the positions in the south must go back to the north. You talk about the man who in APC who is talking about Timmy Frank. You said Timmy Frank, and then the spokesperson of Atiku. Let him read what I said. I'm not fighting him. I'm just reminding him, because I could see, you see, from the list of the committee members that they said, I looked at them, I said, no, this is not right. This is not right. You must balance it all up properly if you want to avoid the pitfalls of the past. That's the essence. Whether you have an election coming now, election is this and that, what are they talking about?
But you also mentioned his age, the issue of his age. You also mentioned the issue of his age. You think that at 85 he should take the Biden approach and not even run for it?
Am I lying? am I lying? I'm older than him. I mean, it's like when you are young, the things you are supposed to do, you didn't. And now you now become an old man. You now say you want to have 100-meter dash sprint. How? How?
Chief,
It's impossible. That was why I said, let's copy. Look at the way it happened in America. Biden didn't first time say that he wouldn't contest. He said he was going to go on. He was going to go on until, people now started talking to him and explaining the consequences. And then, of course, the debate confirmed that he was no longer the fighting spirit politician. So we are saying the South must hold on to the 8th year of presidency. I believe that our party will present a much younger, sensible, corporate person to take the flag of PDP. And if it's going to come from west or south or southeast, so be it. How can I be campaigning for Bola Tinubu? That's not in my party. I can never join their party because it's a congregation of strange bedfellows. The little problems we have now, they are making it look like as if it cannot be resolved. For God's sake, it's so we can sit down and forget about personal ambitions and all this personal enmity and lies that are being said by all this publicity, whatever. He's just working for his salary. He doesn't know this party. How did I pretend? I told you, from my family, we had the first political party in this country. So I will sit down and pretend that it's not happening.
Chief, I can sense.
We saw the way we reacted, and it took me. I was miffed when I saw the way he reacted. And what we are saying now is, calm it down. Let us all go and appear before whatever committee, all sides.
Okay, Chief.
To resolve this crisis.
I can sense.
And we must do it before the end of this year. You can see now, if they are going to have an election, the man who is the leader of the party doesn't control his ESCO, has no input into who is the chairman of the state, or the local government chairman has no input into it. It can work. It cannot work.
All right, Chief.
And I'm requesting from my son, Wike, to calm down. Let him calm down.
All right, Chief.
No political party will take that. No. He went completely overboard. No. It can't be done that way.
Chief, taking a cue from what you've said, I can sense the pain and, should I say, frustration in your voice. And it's quite questionable to a number of persons, considering that you have an election coming up in a couple of weeks, the Edo State governorship election. And if you compare the disunity in the People's Democratic Party to the unity in the APC, as it seems in Edo State, many would wonder how the PDP hopes to retain the seat in Edo State. Also remember that it almost seemed as though the leadership at the national level did not really wade into the situation between Governor Basaki and his deputy at the time. And look at the outcome.
Exactly. And we thank God that the governor in Edo had done tremendously, outstandingly brilliant. Otherwise, what are we going to present to the people of Edo State? The young man who is contesting, everybody saw what he did before. And his presentation, the modus operandi, the way they are managing the party there, makes a lot of sense. There were certain crises. In fact, I think the vice chairman, South, I think he hails from Edo State. He was suspended. I don't know the details. I'm not on the day-to-day workings of the party. But the public perception is what is driving me nuts. I feel so angry What is it? I contested for national chairmanship. When I saw the shenanigans going on and the maneuvers of people, I said, okay, let me pull out. Pull out. I'm still alive. I'm not dead. So let it go. What is it? You know, at this age, we need some men, some real leaders, elders, for the sake of this country and for the sake of the future generation. This is the time I'm requesting them to call for a meeting.
But are you optimistic that your party will win Edo State, will retain the seat in Edo State, despite the disunity?
People of Edo State, despite the internal wranglings that we are having, you know, I am sure that Edo State is the people, because our party governor was the one that performed in Edo State.
Okay.
See the way they are handling it and all that. And the people will look at the personality of the guy who is coming, the one who is handing over to him. And yes, okay, the party has this problem, but it's not, you know, affecting us. The electorate, they can see that the Igodalo fellow, they went through the normal, you know, procedure and all that, and he's brilliant chap. And everybody wants to get somebody brilliant to now manage the resources of the land for the benefit of the people. Simple. So I don't think the Edo people would, they know what happened with the APC group and all that, and how the young man, the deputy governor there, was up and down the whole place. Because he didn't get the ticket, he thought the whole house must come down. Okay. I want to remind you, when they were holding the meeting to establish this party, Baba Obasanjo was still in. He came out of prison. He contested with the man who was the chief convener of the first meeting and consequent meetings to establish PDP, Papa Alex Ekweme. He contested with Baba Obasanjo twice, and he lost. I can't remember any time, even in half a second, where he was ready to bring down the roof. Never. So that should be the minimum standard we must have.
Beautiful, Chief. Let's touch on some national issues now. We've done a lot of politicking, so let's do some reality with regard to the standard of living of the country. I recall that sometime in May or June or thereabout, I think on a number of occasions, you have appealed to Nigerians to give Bola Tinubu some more time, saying that this is not a 100-meter dash. But I know you're also dissatisfied with the way things are right now. And I think about 2 months after your appeal to Nigeria, your last appeal, we saw the End Bad Governance protest, which, you know, on the one hand, the presidency or the APC government believes that it was to overthrow the government, and some persons have been arraigned in court now. On the other hand, we saw some real protests regarding hunger, which depicts the state of the economy right now. But I'd like to get your thoughts with regard to how the government is handling the aspect of the hunger, the real protests regarding hunger, the aftermath of the of the End Bad Governance process. How do you assess the government's reaction so far? It's over a month now, just about a month actually.
Okay, thank you very much for this very discussion. Now, you know, when people were very, very angry with him, I am also part of the group that were angry with him. But I said, okay, the first year, let's look at the first year in government, his first year. That was 2023 to May 2024. That was the year I said, let it be regarded as a learning curve for him. And that anytime from that May 2024 till the time he will finish, he must be held responsible for inaccuracies, for inaction and inabilities to be able to moderate and use the resources of this land for the benefit of of our people. So people now started turning the statement to mean that I said they should still give him 1 year. No, simple English. Maybe I should say it in my native language so they can hear. That time of grace was May 29, 2023 to May 28, 2024. That freedom is gone. That allowance had gone. Because he hadn't worked in the villa before, he has not been at the top level of government. So you will need to learn and assess and do and whatever. Now, I said to people, the government, the way they handle the government, when President Buhari was there, was absolutely despicable. He didn't just start now, but he had been there. And the most controversial area of concern is the inflation and then the issue of petroleum. I ask people, who is because you hear from one side, oh, there is subsidy. Another group will come, oh, there is no subsidy. Oh, right now, the story we hear is that the landing cost of the fuel is 1,200 naira per liter. Therefore, it means people are going to pay more than that very soon. And NNPC just released something over the weekend that look, they are cash strapped. How? What is going on? The government must explain to Nigerians. There is so much anger in the land. And can you blame these people? Of course, if the cost of fuel has skyrocketed to that level, what will happen to the consumables in the market? What will happen to them? We are not enjoying anything that would ameliorate the tense situation, economic, security, and all the others. And what is democracy? Government of the people, for the people, by the people. Are the people happy? No. Whether you are a rich man or poor man, everybody is now on the edge. Can we continue like that? A little thing will flash up. And when they were going to protest, I said, fine, good. That's a feedback to the government. And all these arrests, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure whatever they are arresting all these people for. If, of course, those who are motor parked out, who wanted to disrupt the thing, here in Lagos, I must say it, the Commissioner of Police did a marvelous job. The protesters were going peacefully. He even bought water to give them and ensured that those radicals who wanted to disrupt the peaceful protest were not allowed. He didn't allow them. Brilliant. That's the essence of it. It's a feedback system to the government. If you are doing well, people will drum and dance. If you are not doing well, is a warning shot to you that, well, you come back. You will come back again to renew your mandate. If we are not happy with you, how will we vote for you? That's what they are saying. And we in Lagos here, we hold meetings. You go to church, you go anywhere, any social, people are coming. Even your classmates are howling at you and saying, look, the things are not going well. You know what is my pension as a retired general? It's about 250,000 naira a month. Since Baba's time. If you fly to Abuja now, I would not be able to fly back here if I don't have my own business that I'm doing. 250,000 naira, that's all. The value of money has gone totally bizarre because the inflation, too much money, chasing too few goods, hyperinflation, and nobody is addressing it. You know, I think there was something I read that the Minister of Economic Affairs, or the Minister of Finance, said that, oh, they mortgage our crude oil, part of the crude oil, to be able to pay back certain loans collected. What has happened? What has happened? The same time, look at the power sector. I remember vividly well that in 2007, the then government, by Baba Obasanjo, they bought 18 gas turbines. 18 gas turbines for $16 billion. They were delivered. They bought it from GE, the manufacturers. Now, what has happened to all those 18 gas turbines? Electricity is flip-flopping.
Chief,
We don't know what is happening.
Chief,
If you don't have adequate power, how can you industrially develop?
Chief, as we wind down, I want to quickly get your thoughts on this. When you talk about the state of the country, a lot of people believe that it has to do with the appointments made by the president. And now you have reactions to the appointments made by president. One of the reactions is from your party man, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who believes that his appointments are lopsided.
Yeah, well, you can say that, when the opposition, we can say that. What happened when Baba Buhari was there? I mean, simple question. What happened? The greatest joke, because I've also been in government, both during military and then the civil. We have to be careful. Let's have a standard. And this is where the concept enunciated by the Baba Ekweme and his group will never be cleared from our minds. Remember, 6 geopolitical zones, 6 top positions. Nobody will go home without taking something back home. And that confirms the need for them that, look, you have the opportunity we are now making you feel you are part of this country. Now, the way, he has been appointing people, now they are saying, did he just start now? Did he just start now? And if that is the sense of our leaders, that once you get into any position, just continue to rake it in. He could have said that against General Buhari. Okay, the joke was this issue of the humanitarian ministry. I said, humanitarian ministry? What does that mean? He got me worried. Every month, a certain amount of money is handed over to that lady who was the minister. And of course, she said, oh, the south is okay, she will head north. How did they distribute the money she collected? Humanitarian ministry. I mean, like a joke. I have said it, and I will repeat it, that it makes more sense to me for us to have a deliberate establishment of a program, skill acquisition programs for the young and coming.
So you think the ministry should be scrapped? You think the ministry should be scrapped? I mean, there's not been a minister in there for...
Complete, because it's the tiffy ministry. In my local palace. How do you go back? You hand over the cash? What? It's like the palliatives the government was doing. The palliatives, you will now, in Abuja, look at the massive nation we are. Okay, they send them to the palliative, they bought some rice, they bought some beans and all, to start distributing. How many times would you be able to do that?
Chief,
attack
Chief,
the real economic crisis.
Chief,
and like I was telling you, I instead of having that humanitarian ministry, let there be skill acquisition programs. We did it. And that money should be sent to central bank at the end of the training. These people will, young people, they will apply. It was run from Oshodi here at the Federal Institute of Research and something. Now, They had people wanted to be barbers to train. We had people like who wanted to be like masonry, tailoring, even women for hairdressing and tailoring and all kinds of skills. They will train them at that point, and on graduation, that money, they will now give them interest-free loan. Not hand the cash to them, but buy the relevant equipment they will have to take home and start job. Because you know these skill jobs, there is nowhere in this country you will not need them, and then they are skilled up. Rather than saying you are giving them cash, you are giving them cash.
Okay, Chief.
How is that possible?
Chief,
are we in the Stone Age?
You know, so most of the things you've said almost point towards issues around the distribution of resources and align with calls for constitution change or amendment. So I'd like to, if in a minute or two, because we're out of time, 1 minute or two, talk to us about your thoughts on the calls for drafting a new constitution. You follow the conversation that emanated from the meeting between the Emeka Anyaoku-led group and the president, and then the calls where we even heard Chief Michael Zekome, who was part of that delegation, say that no good can come out of this current constitution. So in a minute or two, please.
Yeah. Now, it is true. This constitution is a typical constitution for the establishment of a military organization, where only one man is at the top, where only one man would decide what goes to this local government, what doesn't go to that local government. No, he cannot work that way. What has the national got to do with my local government in Lagos, or the local government in Borno, or the local government in Sokoto, or the local government in Cross River? This constitution is not working. You concentrate power on one human being in the villa. Every month, all state finance ministers, commissioners, they head to Abuja. That's where they chop the cake. No, sir. There was a constitutional review committee. We met for 6 months. That report should be revisited, because all these issues of what type of system should we run, how do we do it, how do you relate the local governments with the state governments and all that, that report is there. It was one of the successes of President Jonathan. We started it, which is the first time it's going to be done in this country by civilian administration. It's there. When he handed the report over to General Buhari, he said he should go and keep it in the archives and continue this terrible constitution we're running. It's terrible.
But are you optimistic that the Tinubu administration
now,
could revisit it?
The approach, you see, let me quickly now say, the approach by Papa Anyaoku, that we should go and do another constitutional whatever and all that. How? The other report is no, but they have not touched it.
All right,
so
Chief,
we will start again, do primaries and all this. I don't support that.
Chief, I'd like to thank you very much.
Yeah.
Our time's up already. I mean, there's so much to talk about when it comes to you, but I'd like to thank you very much for finding time to speak with us on Political Paradigm.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this music. Thank you.
So I've been speaking with Chief Bode George. He's a founding member of the People's Democratic Party, former deputy national chairman of the party. He's a member of the board of trustees of the PDP as well. If you'd like to catch this episode again and others, please go to youtube.com, search Political Paradigm on Channels TV, or go to channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Send feedback to us. Bye-bye.